20 years ago, during a drunken moment, my dad boasted that raising chickens could earn him $200,000 a year. Not long after, our entire chicken farm was poisoned, leaving us with nothing. A few years later, Dad bought a house in New York City for $8 million, but kept it a secret from everyone back home, including my grandparents. Now, he's the CEO of a conglomerate worth hundreds of millions. Every time we return to our hometown for holidays, he insists that Mom and I pretend to be poor. This past New Year's Eve was no different. I wore a bulky jacket and slippers, hands stuffed in my pockets, ready to continue the family tradition of deception with practiced ease. But then I ran into someone I knew and my act faltered. "Mr. Carter, CEO?" "Mr. Carter, CEO?" he exclaimed, stunned. "Ms. Harper, CEO? Ms. Harper, CEO?" Welcome to the Springtails audio channel. The story you're about to hear is called Inheriting My Father's Legacy of Playing Poor. We quickly silenced the man, glanced around, and ducked behind a tree. I went back to our hometown with my parents to celebrate New Year's with my grandparents. At the family dinner, relatives crowded around, bombarding me with questions. According to Dad's story, he was just a security guard in New York, and Mom was a janitor. The family expressed concern, debating whether I should follow in Dad's footsteps or Mom's. "I heard you went to NYU, right?" my aunt asked. I waved her off. No, just a technical college in the city. I graduated 2 years ago." "Got a job yet? Seeing anyone?" my cousin pressed. I replied smoothly, "Nah, the job market's tough. I'm still unemployed, and with my situation, who'd date me? I'm almost 30. Maybe a divorced guy with a house, car, and a kid would do." My cousin gasped. "You're young. Why talk about being a stepmom? That's not easy." "Want my husband to set you up?" I shrugged. "Not yet. I racked up some debt in college, credit cards, online loans, over $100,000. Gotta pay that off first." I added, "I heard your husband's a manager. Can I borrow some cash?" That shut down the interrogation. My grandparents turned to scold Dad, demanding to know how he raised me to end up in debt. Dad, fuming, whispered to me, "I told you to hide our wealth, not act like this. Can't even handle a simple lie. Want me to reassign you to clean toilets?" I broke down, sobbing. "Dad, I don't want to be a janitor. I don't want to be like Mom." Mom, who's never touched a mop in her life, froze, then teared up, hugging me. "Sweetie, this is our lot in life. We're just not capable." The room filled with emotion. Dad, playing along, muttered apologies for his shame and promised my grandparents, "We won't come back for the holidays for a few years. Clara and I will work hard, pay off the debts in 3 years, and make the Harper family proud. Never borrowing without repaying." Dad's a natural actor. My grandparents wept, and my aunts and uncles offered pitying words, their eyes filled with disappointment. I stood crying and ran out of the house. On the way, I slipped some mini firecrackers into my pocket, planning to set them off somewhere quiet to unwind. But in my rush, I collided with someone, smacking right into his nose. He yelped in pain, and as I stumbled, he caught me. Under the streetlight, we recognized each other. I gasped, he replied. Panicked, we covered each other's mouths and hid behind a tree. I stared at him suspiciously. "Mr. Carter, what are you doing here? Followed me to steal a business deal?" Lucas Carter, a supplier negotiating with my company, shook his head. "You've got it wrong. I'm just visiting my grandparents with my dad." I noticed his outfit, similarly plain, like mine. "Which grandparents? The Thompsons next to my family's place?" He nodded. "My mom passed away early. Her family didn't approve of Dad, so they don't let him visit for holidays." I realized he was the son of Aunt Sophia Thompson. We started talking and, to avoid being spotted, slipped into the woods behind the village. The more we talked, the more we realized how alike our lives were. I hid my family's wealth for Dad. Lucas hid his true abilities for his father. Lucas's dad, like mine, built a fortune from nothing but face scorn for his lack of education, labeled a crude tycoon. His mom, Sophia, a college graduate, cut ties with her family to marry his dad. Even after he succeeded, buying houses and cars, her family still looked down on him. After her death, they blamed him and even sent a nanny to their home with ulterior motives. His dad, loyal to his late wife, never remarried, but the prejudice and pressure left Lucas scarred. We were 2 kids from wealthy families, forced to hide everything, meeting by chance in this small town like mirror images, different yet perfectly aligned. A new chapter began here. Lucas, a brilliant student, earned a scholarship abroad and skipped the national college entrance exams, but his mom's family, narrow-minded, assumed he failed and that his dad paid millions to buy him a degree overseas. For years the town gossiped, calling him a spoiled rich kid who squandered money abroad. This time his dad told him to hide his skills and act clueless to avoid explanations. Lucas looked at me expectantly. "What about you?" I sighed. "Simple. 20 years ago, Dad bragged about making money from our chicken farm. Someone, jealous, poisoned it, and we lost everything. He learned never to flaunt wealth. Now I'm a third-rate college grad, $100,000 in debt, jobless. Don't spill the truth, okay?" Lucas couldn't believe I summed up my tragic life in 2 sentences after he poured out his heart. His glare screamed betrayal, as if I were heartless for not elaborating. I handed him some sunflower seeds and whispered, "Here's the kicker. Dad suspects your uncle was behind the poisoning." That shut him up, ending our heart-to-heart. He changed the subject. "Miss Harper, what are you doing out here at night?" I remembered my plan. Oh, right. I came to set off mini firecrackers, swipe them from my cousin's kid. I shared a box with him. "Know how to use these?" He scoffed. "Who hasn't? But these are for kids. Aren't you embarrassed?" I grinned. "Sure, they're childish, but for an adult like me, they're just fun enough." I tossed one at him. It popped loudly. He froze, and before he could react, I threw more, laughing. "You rejected my dinner invite last time. Take these for payback." Lucas snapped out of it and fought back, but I dodged every throw. Soon he was out of firecrackers, while I had 2 boxes left. I stood laughing maniacally until a kid ran by with a sparkler gun shooting green sparks. I stared, jealous, thinking, I want one. Lucas noticed and asked, "Want it?" I blurted, "Want to steal it?" Realizing my words, I backtracked. I mean, kids shouldn't play with dangerous stuff. I never got to as a kid. Lucas chuckled and pulled my sleeve. "Come on." "Where?" I asked. Confused. "To buy some," he said. At 28, I felt like a kid again. Who could resist a handsome guy buying them fireworks? I nodded eagerly. "Mr. Carter, I don't take bribes." Before I finished, he pressed a finger to my lips, whispering, "Shh, didn't we agree? Call me Lucas. What should I call you?" I grinned, unable to hide my delight, and pinched his lip playfully. "Soft and cute." Lucas, flustered, mumbled, "All right, let go." He bought me tons of fireworks, sparkler guns, fairy wands, and bubbling fountains. The shopkeeper promised one string would shoot 1,000 bubbles. Excited, we lit it, but it fizzled out in seconds. I pouted. "That's it? False advertising?" The shopkeeper laughed. "Visually, it looks like 1,000, right?" Grumbling, I accepted another string he tossed us. He turned to Lucas. "You're her boyfriend, right? Pay up." Lucas blushed, but didn't deny it, silently paying as we were handed more fireworks. We headed to an empty lot, counting bubbles. The kid with the sparkler gun zoomed by again, puzzled, and suggested, "Take a photo and count the bubbles from that." We froze, laughing awkwardly. "Kid, maybe we're just bored adults." That night we played with fireworks for hours, reluctant to part. We finally went home to sleep. The next morning, as we prepared for New Year's visits, my cousin's kid ran up, accusing me of stealing his firecrackers, 3 boxes. Mortified, I covered my face, whispering, "Got proof?" He shouted, "Tommy saw you playing with them and sneaking into the woods with Mr. Carter." Tommy, the sparkler gun kid, strutted over, hair slicked back, dressed like he was ready for the holiday. No hard evidence, but kids don't lie. To settle it, I bought my nephew a new box of firecrackers, but the drama didn't end. My grandparents, along with my uncles, marched to the Thompsons' house, demanding Lucas explain why he was with me in the woods. Surrounded by relatives, we sweated under their scrutiny. Dad whispered, "What's going on, kid?" I could have said we just met and played fireworks, but in this small town, gossip spreads fast. If I told the truth, they'd say I was shameless, sneaking off with a guy I just met. So I blushed, nudged Lucas, and said, "I think he's a good match." Lucas froze, his eyes flickering, ears turning red. "Oh, a shy guy?" I leaned in, whispering, "Just playing along." His hopeful expression dimmed, almost disappointed. "Wait, does he like me?" "Not one to miss a chance," I teased. "If you're serious, I'm game." His face lit up like a spotlight. "Got you," he said, grabbing my hand. "I'm starting my pursuit now." I laughed. "Pursuit? We're already this close. Let's just date. Want to sneak out for coffee or a movie later?" He nodded eagerly. "All up to you." I pouted. "Calling me Spring? Too formal." He blinked innocently. "Then what?" I grinned. "Call me wife." As we bantered, I felt a chill behind me. Turning, I saw Dad glaring at Lucas, fist raised. I threw myself at him, yelling, "Dad, we're in love!" Lucas chimed in, "Yes, sir, I'll treat Sophia well." Dad, unaware of Lucas's family, snapped, "A spoiled rich kid like you? What can you offer her?" Mom nudged him, whispering, "His dad's a billionaire CEO with 1 son and no remarriage." Dad softened but muttered, "Still not a match. Sophia's a genius, our company's pillar. You're just a trust fund kid." Relatives jumped in, mocking me. "Sophia's jobless, in debt, and you're picky?" Lucas's dad, hearing my reputation, frowned. We pulled our parents aside, explaining everything. They laughed, realizing both families were playing the same game, and shook hands, joking about meeting too late. Lucas's dad announced to the crowd, "They're grown. It's time for them to settle down. I approve of Sophia. We're not looking down on the Harpers' modest background, and I hope you don't mind our wealth. I'll cover Sophia's $100,000 debt at $188,000 as a dowry, plus jewelry, a house, and a car. My only son deserves the best, and I'll ensure Sophia's comfort. If that's not enough, I'll double it." Mom, whose handbags cost more than that, stifled a laugh but played along. Villagers praised Lucas's dad for his generosity. Not to be outdone, Dad added, "We've saved a bit too. We'll contribute $88,000 as a dowry so no one says we're selling our daughter." Amid the village's envy and chatter, our engagement was set. Lucas and I hid in a corner, munching sunflower seeds, eavesdropping. "The Harpers hit the jackpot," one villager said. "How'd their deadbeat daughter snag the Thompsons' grandson?" Another scoffed. "She's pretty but useless. No job, just leeching." I glared at Lucas. "Explain this childhood friend you played with." He hugged me, whispering, "Wife, they're lying. She stole my snacks as a kid. I didn't like her." I softened, and though some gossiped, many congratulated us. To them, our marriage was 2 misfits making do, me escaping poverty, Lucas's dad rescuing me. We held the engagement in February. Lucas's dad sent $188,000 to Dad's account. Despite his outward reluctance about my background, he later pulled me aside, smiling. "Sophia, you're a good kid. Don't follow my lazy son. Our empire needs someone like you, running your company so well." I smirked. Marrying Lucas meant inheriting both families' legacies. Lucas, blushing, asked, "Can we have 3 kids? My startup needs heirs." I teased, "Your tiny company might go bust. Why talk heirs?" He looked baffled. After the holidays, we returned to New York. Dad beamed. "Not a bad year. Picked up a son-in-law." Mom nodded. A perfect match. Lucas's dad returned to Chicago, teary, joking that Lucas was practically our son now. Back in New York, Lucas and I dove into work. Mom shuttled between our companies with homemade soup. We only met on weekends, texting sparsely otherwise. I groaned. "This is boring." Lucas grinned. "Ms. Harper, we're not dating. We're engaged. Fiancé and fiancée." He flashed his ring, clearly annoyed. I teased, "Not husband and wife yet." Before he could argue, I suggested, "Move in with me." He blushed, stammering, "What are you saying?" I smirked, slipping him keys to my spacious apartment near his office. "Want to be the man of the house?" He sighed. "Ms. Harper, stop making it sound like you're my sugar mama." I lifted his chin. "Call me wife, not Ms. Harper." He mumbled, "Yes, wife." We agreed on separate rooms and split chores, but I quickly showed my true colors. "Separate rooms? Who are you kidding?" I pushed him onto the bed, kissing him. He blushed, resisting weakly. "We're not married yet." I rolled my eyes. "Oh, you want a title?" He stammered. "Shouldn't we register first?" I snapped, "Propose first." He blinked. "I thought you'd propose." I sighed, pulling him close. "Fine, I'll propose. Pink or champagne roses? Let me see your finger for the ring." He blushed, flustered, as I played it cool. We registered soon after, making him officially my husband. My parents adored him, maybe more than me. With everyone busy, we delayed the wedding, planning to organize it later. But before the next New Year, my grandparents called, insisting we wed soon or risk gossip. Mom, dreaming of a lavish city wedding, was furious when they demanded it happen in the village. After some back and forth, Dad compromised. One ceremony in the village, another at Mom's family estate. For the village wedding, my grandparents and relatives handled everything. Dad moved, considered revealing our wealth, but my uncle interrupted, hinting he'd covered costs and expected reimbursement, $200,000. Dad balked. The banquet, even with drinks, couldn't cost that much. Suspicious, I stepped in. "Sure, we'll pay, but show me the receipt with a proper stamp." My uncle's face fell, muttering about kids interfering. I smiled sweetly. "Grandparents said you organized this. Why meddle in our wedding? We've never borrowed from you." Dad hesitated, but I whispered, "They didn't pay. They got it from Grandpa." He nodded, and we collected $100,000 in gift money, reimbursing my grandparents and keeping the rest per tradition. Lucas, thrilled to count wedding cash for the first time, beamed. I teased, "Let your wife hold it. I'll return it when you're older." He scoffed. "Older? You just want to buy more firecrackers." During holiday visits, a distant cousin of Lucas's brought his girlfriend, a USC finance master's grad earning $300,000 a year. He bragged, jabbing at us. "She's a high flyer. What do you do, Lucas?" Then to me, "What school did you go to?" Lucas's dad blurted, "Sophia went to a top tech institute." The girlfriend, recognizing us, apologized. "Ms. Harper, Mr. Carter, I didn't know. I work at your company." I laughed. "Oh, Sarah, small world. We were high school classmates, right, Sarah?" She nodded. "Yes, I'm Sarah. You're Ms. Harper, he's Mr. Carter." Her boyfriend shut up. After the holidays, we left the village, cutting ties after my spat with my uncle. Lucas sent money to my grandparents for future holidays. We later heard my cousin's girlfriend wasn't pregnant, and their $200,000 dowry dispute led to a fight, a miscarriage, and a lawsuit, becoming the talk of the town. Meanwhile, Lucas and I left the village behind, our secret safe, ready for our new life together.